we're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there. Ah, we're live. We are live. We're getting there. We're getting there. Always forget to mute um this YouTube channel. I have to mute it. I have to mute that. So here we are. Tonight, Friday, January 17th, 2025. And I'm still fired up. My numbers are increasing every day, 10 to 20 people. It's amazing. Amazing. Thank you so much, supporters, all my YouTube subscribers. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for trusting me enough and liking me enough that you hit that subscribe button. And I hope you will come and participate and continue to watch the videos. Uh, we're still talking about active listening skills for the court reporting profession. And every time I come on, I want to talk about a different aspect of active listening skills for the court reporting professional so that you can use these skills and improve your performance when you're on the job. So let me just uh, introduce myself to those of you who don't know me. My name is Therese Gibson. I'm a professional court reporter, an Eclipse trainer. I train court reporters, scopists, proofreaders. I'm an Eclipse trainer, so the software we use is called Eclipse. And this software helps us produce verbatim transcripts, allows court reporters to provide real-time services to attorneys, and allows us to produce transcripts expedite, daily copy, simultaneous, which is real time. You know, we're writing real time and attorneys can actually see the text come up on the screen and they can read it and they can refer to it. And it helps the attorneys to be more efficient at their job as they're working, asking questions of the witness, so on and so forth. And, you know, sometimes when you see a court reporter using their steno machine, sometimes people don't realize the stress that we're under as we're trying to work this skill. Okay. Let's see if I think my machine is here close enough that I can share it. I always like to share my machine when I'm on here. But it's always somebody who don't know what I'm talking about. So this is my steno machine. Ah, okay, that screen is not letting me. How can I show it? There it is. Ah, there it is. Can I share it? My machine, there it is. All right, don't laugh at me. Let me turn off my back screen because I do want you all to see this. Let me just change it. And you can see the back of my house, but this is my machine that I use to provide court reporting services. This is my steno machine. And with this machine, I can write up to 300 words a minute. I really can. Yes, I can. And sometimes my meter goes past 300 words a minute. Sometimes I see it going 320, 350, which is amazing to myself. I'm like, wow, I'm writing that fast. I can do that, really? And you know, some people they like to go into, you know, speed contests and all that. I'm not interested. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in signing up for speed contests. I don't really have a need to do that. You know, every day I take a job, that's my speed test. That's my contest. With every job that I go on, I try to do better, be better, improve my skills. And when I get that paycheck, that's my prize. So, you know, every job is different. And speed contests, I sometimes wonder what is that all about? Because every job is different. Every job has a different topic. Every job has a different finger pattern. It's just amazing what we can do. Our brains is able to actually decipher all this stuff when we learn our theory, right? We learn our theory and we learn how to write real time. Now, let me see something over here on the screen. Let's see. I'm looking at this. Oh, okay. Maybe one day people will actually start to show up when I come on. But again, it's kind of hard for people to know when I'm coming on. And that's why you need to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that when I do come live, you'll know I'm live and you can participate. Sometimes people like to come live. I'm gonna turn off this light over here. People like to come live. They like to be able to be there with the people that they like to watch, right? So right now, I'm just trying to fill this out, like what would be work for me, with my busy schedule. What would work, with Friday nights work for me. Um, Friday is a day where, you know, people look forward to Friday nights. Friday night is a night for different things. Some people go out and party and drink and do all kind of crazy stuff. Some of us go to church and worship the Lord and praise God and give thanks. Some of us relax and at home with our husbands or our significant others and snuggle on the couch and watch a show and just that quality time. And so Friday night is when I think of Friday night, it's like, I don't know, it's open. I mean, my husband is here. But we usually, on Friday, we kind of relax. We eat our dinner together, we relax and watch a show, and then we go to bed. But I'm thinking that Friday night might be the night where I will be more consistent. 9 p.m. may be a little early. I might actually start at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time because, well, it's a little late for us, but we got Central, which is 1 hour back, which is 9 p.m. for them. And then you go further back, it's 8 p.m. And then you go further back, it's 7 p.m. for the people in California. So I try to reach people in the United States, Canada, Mexico, those countries that are close to, that are kind of surrounding the continent, or I shouldn't say continent, that are close to America. Uh, Nigeria is kind of far, but they have a really good, robust legal system. And I've actually worked with some of the reporters there that do use Eclipse software, and they are stenographers there. And so that's why I also choose to reach out my network with YouTube to Nigeria. If there are countries that I'm not seeing, I mean, once people start to interact with me and I see the different countries, people, when I go to promotion, that's what that's about. When I go to promotion, then I can select more countries. I always like to kind of select places that I know there would be a response. Stenography is a skill that is very well known in the United States, but as you get further out away from the United States, I know in India, when you go on, if you were to put in the search engine um, on YouTube, stenography, you'll see different things. Like let me do that. I'll show you what I'm saying. It's everybody when they think of stenography, everybody's not in their mind seeing or understanding the same thing. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Some people around the world, which I thought was really crazy. I mean, not crazy, but it was just kind of surprising to me that people are still using pen and paper. Yes, they are. They're not using um they're not using the steno machine. Okay. And they have these quirky, I think they call them quirky keyboards where people who are not trying to be stenographers, but they use it for just regular transcription of what they're writing. It's their writing tool, in other words. Um, so I would encourage you, if you're interested in this topic, stenography, just take a moment and look at what is going on. And I'm going to show my screen right quick. I'm going to share what I'm talking about. When I was in high school, before I even learned about stenography, I didn't even know about stenography when I went to high school. And my goal was to become what do you call it, a nurse. That's what I wanted to be. And I learned, they taught us about Greg. Now, if you see here on the screen here, they're writing. Let's see, let's see, let's open it and let's give a little look at this. Look at this. Isn't that something? That's Greg's shorthand with a pen and paper. Isn't that nice? See what I'm saying? So that's Greg's shorthand. Greg's shorthand. Um, and when I was in high school, that was still around. That's like more than 40 years ago, 1976. In the year 1976, this was what was out there. And when we came into school, there was like, if you want to work as a secretary, learn this skill, you could use, there's some choices here. You can do shorthand, or you could use the machine. With the machine, I saw more versatility, right? There was more versatility. And that's why I chose the machine because, learning lines and squirrels and all that, to me, that seemed a little bit too foreign. But when I saw the steno um, keyboard, I was like, that's it. Like went off in my head. God spoke, hey, this is what you are to do. And I did it. So when we go to stenography in China or in India, let's do India. This is interesting. I just want to just talk about a couple things before I get to our topic today. If you go to India and you're talking about stenography, again, it's the pen and paper. It's the pen and paper again. Um, Let me show you my screen here so you can see what I'm talking about. And again, you can go and look at these different methods, but here it is, the pen, okay, a steno pencil, which is basically a pencil. And you see the paper, the paper, there it is right there, the writing on the pad. Let's go over here. This is in India. See, in India, they're still with the pad and paper. Unfortunately, in India, they're not teaching machine shorthand. I would love to see machine shorthand come to India. Look at this. They're still back in the day, I would say. You know how we say back in the day, we used to do this. Back in the day, we did that. India is back in the day. India needs to come up, come up to the present and learn stenography. China is very versatile. Let's look at stenography in China. China is a little bit more technologically sound people. They're when it comes to technology, China is where it's at. China is like, we're not going to be left behind. No, we're not. We're not going to be left behind in China. So in China, I just looked at China and let's see, stenography. It looks like this is my first time looking at this. So let's look at it together. It looks like some parts of China are still, with the pen and paper, right? They're still looking at pen and paper. We're looking at the shorts. So we see people are still with pen and paper. Now we got the quirky keyboard, the steno keyboard. I don't know if that's in China though. That looks okay. This looks more like we're back into United States because we got some of these keyboards. That's nice, right? Keyboard right there. That's stenography with the steno machine. Okay, they call that the steno project. Let's see if we go down here. What do we got down here? See those? So this is more like what I have. It's that same keyboard, but they have some extra keys here, some keys that are not on my board. So it's a little different. It's a little different. Okay. Um, Greg shorthand. Okay, that was back in the day. So China, I've actually seen in China where I've seen things where they are using technology. They do have steno machines, but they look a little different. And I can't right now seem to be able to find that video. But China is a little bit, you know, where is that? Here's let's look at this. Let's look at this. People can learn steno for different reasons, right? People can learn steno because they want to be a reporter. So people can learn steno because they want to use it for their own writing purposes. And right here, they're showing you some people are replacing that keyboard, the regular typing keyboard, they're replacing it with this. And yes, you can write up to 280 words a minute when you learn the theory behind it, or once you learn the actual keyboard that we use, the letters. And right here, you can see this is a great video right here. It's 2 minutes. And they're showing you a reporter in the courtroom. Okay. And or is this the witness? I mean, this is the witness. Usually the witness sits here, but I think that's the reporter. And that's her machine. And she's demonstrating how she's writing on the steno machine. Okay. She's typing a little slow there, but she's doing that for demonstration purposes. That's where it's at. Okay. So what we want to learn is, when we're on the job, we're passionate and happy to become court reporters, and we want to be efficient with what we're doing, and we want to be stress-free. Now, you're not going to ever get away completely all stress and anxiety. But what we want to do is we want to use these active listening skills to help us to when that anxiety and the stress comes and we recognize it, because sometimes we just plowing through. But when we can recognize, okay, here I'm starting to feel a little uncomfortable here. I'm starting to feel a little stress. I'm starting to feel a little anxiety. Then it's time to allow our active listening skills to kick in and help us in that moment. This week I was working in the courtroom after not being in the courtroom for quite a while. I'm back in the courtroom, and sometimes the testimony was a little fast for me because we do have a threshold, to be honest. I mean, if you talk faster than I can talk, then I can write on the machine. What can I do? All I can do is struggle and try to keep up with you. But if you're above my threshold over a certain period of time, like maybe I can hang in there for a minute, but after that, I'm going to start dropping. And so when that starts to happen, when we start to feel struggle, one or two things we can do. We can ask people to slow down. We can say, excuse me, can you repeat that, please, to kind of recover and get people to slow down a little bit. It's because once you interject and you ask a question, people realize, okay, I'm going too fast. And a lot of times, I won't say 100% of the time, but most of the time, people will start to slow down for you. Okay, so today our topic, now we get into our topic. After talking for how long? Let's see how long I've been talking. It doesn't say. I've been talking for a while now. See, about 10 minutes. Yeah, about 10 minutes. All right, so now we're going to get into our topic here. And again, beyond words, it is just beyond words, guys, what we experience. And we can overcome this. We can learn some skills to help us. And active listening skills is one of the things that we can use to help us relieve ourselves of the stress. And today we're going to explore uh, active listening skills. And the ability to actively listen not only enhances the accuracy of our transcripts, but also helps in managing stress and fostering a professional demeanor in a courtroom setting. You know, you don't want to be sitting in the courtroom looking all stressed out and you know, like you're about to cry because it's so hard on you. And you no, we can't do that. That's not being professional. Always try to have like a serious, like I'm working look type of look when I'm writing on the machine. Sometimes I'm just very relaxed. I'm very relaxed because everything's coming down nice and smooth. The talk, the speed of the voice is nice and slow. It's right on my level, and I'm getting every single word. Now, in those moments, I am happy, but I can't be smiling, okay, because they wouldn't understand. But you keep that professionalism, and you know, by honing in on these active listening skills, we will become more adept at capturing the spoken word and create a verbatim transcript for legal proceedings. You know, we're already doing it, but the thing is, with active listening skills, we're going to get better at it. There was a moment this week, as I was writing on my steno machine, the judge, I was sitting right, the judge is here, and I'm sitting right, you know, in front, kind of low. And the judge is talking, and the judge, I really loved working with this particular judge. His voice was nice and calm and moderate speed. It wasn't going really too fast. But at some points, he did kind of go a little fast, and I had to kind of focus. You know, I had to get my mind back focused. And actually, I was using this one thing they taught us in school is to maybe look at a point and just look at that point and then just concentrate and just write. And so when I found myself this week, kind of getting, I guess you could say I was losing focus, or maybe it was just too fast for me. What I did was I calmed myself down and I listened. I listened and I concentrated. So I'm looking at one spot and I'm listening and just writing. And then I got back on track. That's one thing that you know they did teach us in school is just focus on something and just write. So we want to focus, write, and listen. So then my ears, I was not training, but I was listening for each word that was coming out of his mouth. I was grabbing it and writing it. Yeah. Okay. So today's topic is mastering active listening, enhancing accuracy, and reducing stress in court reporting. And that's one thing, overall arching thing about active listening is to reduce the stress and to reduce the anxiety. So we're going to talk about 7 things in regard to active listening today. And I must apologize that it's taking me this long to get onto my topic, but I kind of wanted to see, you know, if people would come in. I did invite some people in my group on Facebook. I have a Eclipse Cat training group on Facebook, which I invited, and a group on LinkedIn that I invited. And so I was hoping that some of these people would come in, but you know, it was last minute's notice, so everybody's busy, and that's okay. So let's talk about our 7 points. So the first one is reflecting emotions. So I'll just give you the 7 points. So the first one is reflecting emotions, which is acknowledging the speaker or the witness. Number 2, summarizing. Number 3, clarifying. Number 4, encouraging elaboration. Number 5, being patient. 6, withholding judgment. And number 7, providing verbal affirmations. Now, generally speaking, when we're talking about active listening skills, all these things work in general, okay? But what we want to do is think about these different aspects of active listening in relationship to a court reporter, a court reporting professional. All right. So Let's see. The first one is reflect emotions. I'm looking at my notes, so that's why I'm looking down. Reflecting emotions, acknowledging the speaker. Okay. Now, as a as in everyday conversations, when you're talking with someone, you may not be conscious of it, but you are noticing their emotions, their facial affect. You can tell if they're sad. You can tell if they're happy. You can tell if they're upset with you. You could tell if there's different emotions we observe. Okay. And when we observe these different emotions, we respond in a certain way. We respond with empathy, okay, which is part of active listening skills we talked about in one of our prior videos. And we speak to the person to allow them to know that we're there, we notice their emotions, and we acknowledge it. We don't comment on it, of course, but we can acknowledge that, what they're going through and respond appropriately to the situation. Now, as a court reporter, we use active listening skills, and when individuals are speaking to one another, it's important to acknowledge the speaker's emotions. But in court reporting, it's important for the court reporter to be neutral. Okay, we can look at the witness in a not in a neutral way and give a slight acknowledgement, maybe a nod of the head. Okay, so if you are in the courtroom as a reporter and you're taking down testimony of a witness who's sad and they start to cry, what can you do, right? You can't get up and go over and hug the person. You can't say any encouraging words because the minute you do that, you are no longer neutral. Okay, you are no longer neutral. You have to stay neutral and you have to allow the witness to feel the emotions and whatever they're going through, you allow them to feel that. And usually if a witness starts to cry, usually the clerk will pass them a box of tissue and give that to the individual. And then sometimes an attorney will stand up, will say, "Are you okay? Would you like to take a break?" So it's not the reporter's job to make a witness feel better uh, because of their emotional turmoil that they may be feeling or the emotional upset. We let the clerk give the tissues. We let the attorney stand up and say, "Your Honor, can we take a break?" And sometimes they will ask the witness directly, "Are you okay? Would you like to take a break?" So we are neutral on all avenues, neutral, okay, when it comes to reflecting emotions. Um, Now, the next two topics, uh, we're going to really wrap them up as one, and that's summarizing and clarifying. So this is recapping key point, a conversation. Summarizing would be recapping key points of the conversation, and clarifying is asking questions if something is unclear. So I'm putting these two together, um, putting them together, okay, because they're kind of one and the same to me. In normal conversations, we want to be heard. Everybody wants to be heard, right? I want to be heard. You want to be heard. Whenever we have conversations, we want to be heard. And we want to make sure we have the key points of a conversation to make sure that the main ideas of what is being conveyed are clear and accurate. Okay, so in normal everyday conversations, we all have conversations with people. Sometimes we don't understand what they're saying. Sometimes we will clarify, and summarize what they're saying. We'll summarize like, "This is what I heard. Is this what you meant?" You know what I'm saying? Or clarify and ask some questions. So we'll either give a summary, "This is what I heard," or we can ask questions to clarify what we heard. Now, as a court reporter in the courtroom, the goal is to create a verbatim record. Okay. So we're not going to be summarizing things. I mean, there have been times when I'm writing and then the testimony just gets all jumbled up. And sometimes I might repeat what I thought I heard, and then they will correct me. I have done that. But usually what I'll do is I usually ask the witness to repeat what they've said, or sometimes I will ask, "Did you say if I misheard the word, I may say, well, did you say this word? And then, that way I'm clarifying. So I don't summarize, but I will clarify. So that's basically what I have been doing, because the goal is to create a verbatim record for legal proceedings, okay? If the court reporter is not sure of what they heard, that's the time to ask for clarification. And sometimes I've actually asked the witness directly, but really it's better if you ask the judge, especially if the witness is not cooperating and you're in the courtroom. You just turn to the judge and say, Your Honor, I didn't get the answer. Just let the judge know you need the answer to be repeated. And then the judge will direct the witness to repeat what they said, or the judge will say to the attorneys, counsel, repeat your question, and then they will continue on from there. So there is help available for the reporter at times. And I'm talking about an environment where the judge and the lawyers are all working as a team with the court reporter. Sometimes in some courtrooms, I know in Massachusetts, I've experienced where judges have told me don't say anything because the official record is the digital recording, which is unfortunate because I'm there to do a job and they kind of hampering me when they tell me that. I kind of feel a little bit insulted when they say that because it's like, okay, uh, why am I here? It kind of is how I feel. But we can't be unprofessional. I heard what she said, this particular judge, and I just didn't say anything. Um, except one time. I have to share this. The attorney was reading from a document. He was reading numbers, and he was reading them so fast, I couldn't even understand what he said. And I asked him can you repeat that number? The judge, everybody looked at me like I did something wrong. I'm like, wow, how can you ask? I was like, okay, only asked one time. And they had a problem with it. And that's kind of sad that this is the state of things. And I noticed this happened like before the pandemic. I didn't really have that issue, but after the pandemic, everybody's like, the digital recording is the official record. And I'm hired by the attorney to come in because they want a stenographer and because they know that they can get an efficient record, a good record, a verbatim record within a reasonable time period. So when it comes to summarizing, clarifying, asking questions, you really need, as reporters, talk to the judge in the courtroom, ask what they would prefer you do if you don't hear something. Would they want you to repeat it or ask questions or interject when you're having trouble or ask, how would they want to handle it? That would be the best thing to do. And then in the deposition room, the conference rooms, depositions are a little bit more laid back and you have a little bit more control as the reporter. Um, I usually talk directly to the witness to repeat something. And again, you should talk to the attorneys and find out how they want you to handle that. Do they want you to ask them to repeat the question or speak with the witness? Most of the time, I just take over and I just talk to the witness. So far, it hasn't been a problem. Sometimes, usually, if the witness is not able to remember what they said, the attorney will just repeat the question and we just go on from there. It's not like a big thing, it's just, we're just trying to get a verbatim record, correct record. That's all we're trying to do. Okay, we're not trying to embarrass the witness or anything like that or trick the witness up or anything. It's just we're here to be professional and create the verbatim record. That's it. All right, let's see what else. Okay, next is encouraging elaboration, prompting the speaker to expound further. While co-reporters must remain neutral, there are occasions where the witness might need gentle prompting to provide more detailed information. This can be done through nonverbal cues or, when appropriate, through the attorney or the judge's facilitation. Encouraging elaboration ensures a thorough and comprehensive record of the testimony. This should be done very sparingly, if not at all. Okay. And sometimes people say things that don't come across where you can understand it, or it comes across unintelligible. or people are mumbling, things like that. So we encourage the witness to speak up and, to, you know, explain what they're saying, basically. That would be the only time elaboration would come in at, and it's not really elaborating, really. It's really trying to get the witness to understand. Nobody knows what you're saying. If the judge doesn't know what you're saying, the lawyers don't know what you're saying, and if you have a jury and the jury don't know what you're saying, now that's a problem. Okay? So sometimes this would be more taken care of by the lawyers. But I've seen cases where witness mumbled, didn't make no kind of sense. And the judge didn't say a word. And the attorney didn't say a word. You know what they all are assuming? If I don't say nothing, she got it. And it's not true. If the judge don't hear it, don't understand it, don't make no kind of sense, and if the lawyers hear it, it don't make no kind of sense to them, one of them need to be saying something, but what they're doing is they're putting the burden on the stenographer, the court reporter, to say something. Woo, I'm telling you guys, court reporter can be kind of tricky sometimes. Just took a sip of some water. So again, reporters, we need to be neutral. We need to be neutral. Our job is to create a verbatim record. We want to be accurate as possible, but we want to be, kind of in the background, seen but not heard. But it's not so rigid. Got to be a little flexible and allow the reporter to speak up when they know they didn't know they know they didn't hear it, and it doesn't make any sense. So that in those cases, we do want someone needs to encourage the witness to speak more clearly and to explain what they just said. Okay, now we're next to the next point, our next point. Being patient. Okay, we got three more. Being patient, allowing the speaker to express at their own pace. Patience is a vital aspect of active listening. Witnesses may need time to collect their thoughts and articulate their statements. As court reporters, giving the witness this space without rushing them ensures a more accurate and complete record of their testimony. You know what, guys? I never rush witnesses. There have been times maybe I should retract and say, you know what, thinking about it right now, it's like, there have been times with witnesses, you're sitting there and you're just waiting for them to answer. It's like after like 2 minutes, I'm like, okay, is there an answer? Do you have an answer? Like, we don't rush them, but after a minute or 2 minutes of just sitting there waiting for an answer, somebody got to say something. And if the lawyers are not going to speak up, I'm speaking up. Okay. But, I think waiting for an answer for 2 minutes is that's patience. That is patience. Okay. But we do want to be cognizant of people's abilities. Sometimes people have cognitive disabilities. So we don't want to just assume that, you know, they're too slow. We do have to let people, when it comes to a witness, allow them to answer at their own pace. And if usually what I've seen because I've been doing this for now over 40 years, usually when there's a witness that's having problems answering a question, after a minute or two, if there's no answer, usually their attorney will just ask a different question or try to break the question down to make it more understandable for the witness. So the court reporter doesn't really have to worry about a slow witness. It's those fast witnesses that give us the problem. We want to slow them down because we're trying to write down what they're saying, right? So we just have to be flexible and know when to speak and when not to speak, you know. Uh, and so that's all I have to say about that. And I would flip it and say, be patient with yourself. Be patient with yourself when you hear a witness that's taking their time, or maybe they have a cognitive disability, and just be patient, just wait, and just write what they're saying. And when people are fast speakers, we have to learn to be fast. When we're in a case in court, I love court because in court you can actually create briefs that will help you write faster. For example, in my last case, I had a name that had two syllables. I could have broke it to one syllable. For example, the name Robertson, right? Mr. Robertson. They're saying Mr. Robertson. That's like a three-syllable word. They say Mr. Robertson all day long. Well, you know what? I could just do Mr. MRB, BZ, one stroke, Mr. Robinson, MR, or I could do MROZ. Okay. We could create brief form. It's a one stroker. So instead of Mr. Robinson, that's like four strokes, we could just make it one. And that gives us more time to hear other things. So reporters, we can slow things down for ourselves in our steno theory by creating briefs according to the job, okay, according to what we're working on. So sometimes it's a matter of what can I do as a court reporter to make my job easier for me instead of trying to always have people slow down. Improve your skills, okay? All right, let's see, we got two more. Withholding judgment, keeping an open mind during the conversation. Let me see what I got here. We're almost done. It is paramount for court reporters to maintain impartiality. Withholding judgment and listening with an open mind allows for an unbiased and precise transcription of the proceedings. This neutrality is crucial. Did y'all hear that? Crucial. Crucial for the integrity of the court record. It is. We can't go ahead of ourselves and assume that the witness is going to say this word or that word, because as a stenographer, we learn how to write with brief forms and phrases and different things like that. And if we're not using our active listening skills properly, we will assume that the next word is going to be this. You got at this time, at that time. You're going to think, well, he's going to say at this time because they've been saying at this time all this time, but then all of a sudden they're saying at this time, or they're saying at that time. Get what I'm saying? So we do have to listen without judgment as far as predicting what's going to be said next. And many times we are accurate, but you got to make sure you listen. And also we cannot make any kind of judgment about the outcome of the case, what happened, what didn't happen. Is this a good witness? Is this a bad witness? Is this a good case or a bad case? Oh, that's a bad person. Yeah, they need to be sued. All this kind of stuff, that's junk. Don't put junk in your head while you're working with people. Just be professional. Just be on the moment. Just get the words. That's all you think about, just the words. Now, when everybody's packing up, you gone, you home, and you want to start thinking about the case and this and that, that's on you. But while you in the courtroom or in a professional setting, the focus is on capturing the spoken word, creating a verbatim record, improving your skills as you're there, using your skills to the best of your ability. If the words are kind of hard to write, according to your theory and according to best standards and practices, creating brief forms that will cause you to write faster. That's it. And that's why we're there, and that's what we're there for, okay? And let's see. Our very last one is providing verbal affirmation using words like I see or I understand. Now, as a reporter, the only thing you need to be saying to a witness is when they repeat something is, okay, got it. That's it. Or even repeat what they just said to you to let them know you got it. Other than that, we don't need to be affirming people, affirming testimony. We're neutral. We're totally neutral. Okay. Let me just read this right here. While direct verbal affirmations might be rare in court reporting, and I'm telling you guys, it is very rare. Maintaining an attentive demeanor can serve a similar purpose. Subtle nods or attentive body language can provide the witness with the assurance that they are being, here it goes, they are being heard. Thus facilitating better communication. When the witness knows that they are being heard, when the witness knows and understands that when a witness understands that the stenographer, the court reporter, no matter what style of reporting you're using, right? When they know that court reporter is getting and capturing their testimony accurately, they relax, they have less stress. The witness has less anxiety and they feel more comfortable and they're more open to speak. And that is what the reporter wants, to be able to have a witness who's not so feeling so pressured, but at least one person, if nobody else is hearing me, they know that stenographer, that court reporter, that voice writer, they getting what I'm saying. They're capturing it. Okay. So by mastering these active listening skills, court reporters can ensure that they capture and transcribe testimonies with the highest level of accuracy and professionalism. And that's a wrap, guys, for our testimony, not testimony, but our see, I'm just all wrapped up in this testimony because that's what we do as court reporters. We capture the spoken word testimonies, hearings. As cart captioners working with the deaf and hard of hearing community, we become their ears. We're writing down every single word that's being said in the environment. Even if somebody is whispering, we still got to get that too. If we can, hear it, we got to write it. So we're here as stenographers. And I just want to say one last thing as a plug, a shout out to the world. Listen, we need more court reporters. We need more scopists, okay, to join us in the field of court reporting. We do. We really do. I want to share something on the screen right now. It's going to take me a moment. Put in the chat box, please. Did you like the presentation? What did you like? What did you not like? What would you have liked to have seen me say? So I'm going to just share my screen in a moment. I'm trying to get this, let's see. Presentation. And show you guys. Let's see, we got 1, 2, okay. All right, so let me share my screen. I would like to share something with you. Be patient with me. Okay, we're almost there. All right. All right, so I really should have showed this at the very beginning. So today we're talking about enhancing accuracy and reducing stress in court reporting. That's what this whole talk was about. When using these active listening skills, this is what we're going to get. Reduce stress and enhanced accuracy of our transcripts. That's what we're looking for. That's what we're trying to do. Okay. And I do want to show my information. This is my information if you want to contact me. Okay. Strategy sessions. I provide strategy sessions for people who want to learn the Eclipse software. Eclipse survey and consultation. This is for those who are using the Eclipse software, but they know they need training. They're kind of struggling with their software. And so we have a survey I have them fill out the survey, we have a consultation, and then we work together to create an individualized training program for them. And then I just want to remind you guys, if you really did enjoy the presentation, did you learn something today? If you did learn something, um, click and subscribe and hit that notification bell, okay? And I hope to see you guys in the next video.